I've been known to cast reasonable doubt on the accomplishments of polyglots, and today I'd like to use the example of one Xiao Manic, almost 7 million followers on YouTube, to illustrate my views on polyglots and to help you understand them better. And before we start, I'm not challenging this YouTuber. I'm old enough to be his father. So he's a young man of his generation, having fun on YouTube, inspiring people, entertaining people. I'm just using him as an example because he's infinitely more popular than I am, and whatever I might say today about him wouldn't damage his reputation anyway. I want to share with you how a real teacher reads polyglotism on YouTube. The bulk of his content seems to be to frame the unexpected, to catch people off guard with his unusual language skills, and a lot of his videos revolve around a similar narrative. I'm so good, I surprise people. That's the narrative he's going by in all of his videos almost. I find this very important because you as a viewer are already conditioned by the description of the videos to expect this polyglot to be what he says he is. So the narrative takes down your first wall of defense. Okay? You'll see also that a polyglot is typically a person who associates with a lot of people. I'm here in my little room. If I made videos outside in which I speak with a lot of French speakers, well, you'd make a mental connection, subconsciously perhaps, that I'm likable, that people wish to speak to me, and that I'm knowledgeable. We completely forget that Immanuel Kant never left Königsberg and Michel de Montaigne locked himself in his tower because he had some bloody thinking to do. The second thing to pay attention to is that all YouTube videos are edited. We never see the mistakes and we don't see the breakdowns in communication. A third thing that many people don't realize is that the sounds a person produces on camera or the sentences they build are just a small fraction of a language. There are many, many more variables than just producing sentences for the camera. So I propose we listen to the French in this video now. It's called Elite US Government Diplomat, Test to My French, Arabic and Dari. And here also the YouTuber is already elevating himself. You see how it works subconsciously? It's something quite spectacular to speak with an elite US government diplomat. Why elite, we have no idea. It just seems very spectacular. You associate him with something spectacular also. See how it works? He's also implying that a diplomat is a worthwhile judge of someone's language skills, which they're not. They're really not. Not at all, not in the slightest. It's not their job. They're diplomats. They're not language experts. All these elements are quite important before we even start to listen to his French. Okay, so I propose we listen to it now. Right, I have my second computer over here. Remember, before we start, I am a professional. I have a professional set of ears. I might be more critical than you might be. Okay, take this into account, please, before we start. Let's listen to what the YouTuber and the diplomat have to say in French.
So would you like to have a little conversation in French?
The diplomat just said, would you like to have a little conversation in French? I'm picking up a very strong American accent, obviously.
So we can work out your language skills?
And the diplomat just told him, let's speak French so I can assess your skills. So I'm guessing that the diplomat has a certain level in French, or at least he's going along with it for the video. Yeah, well, what can I say? Je m'appelle Carmen, comment ça va? So obviously the intonation's off. It's, what can I say? I told you I have professional ears. So he is using French words, yeah. I think I'm picking up a very strong Mandarin accent, Chinese accent, Asian accent, which is surprising to me. Je m'appelle Carmen, comment ça va? So the intonation's off, so I don't hear this with my professional ears. If a student showed up in one of my classes speaking in this way, I would ask him, well, who taught you French? How did you learn French? Did we ever mention prosody, rhythm, how French is meant to sound? The diplomat has a very strong American accent, which is not a crime, just saying. So he says, ça va très bien, merci beaucoup. Very well, thank you very much. He's sort of using a rising tone. Ça va très bien, merci beaucoup. Obviously, it's not the tone you would use in native French. Ça va très bien, merci beaucoup. Ça va très... How would I say it? Bonjour, ça va très bien, merci beaucoup, très bien, merci beaucoup. Oh, just falling tones, obviously. Très bien, merci beaucoup, et vous, ça va bien? You know, falling tones, so he's using American prosody, obviously.
Et toi aussi?
Et toi aussi? So, within two sentences, we can already tell that neither of them are at that level where they can use French intonation, they haven't studied the French pronunciation. Can we understand them? Of course we can. But that's the level we're speaking about. And if I had to guess, I'm already going to make the educated guess that the Diplomat is roughly at B1, maybe B2 level, whereas the YouTuber might be at A2. Well, we'll see. Well, the YouTuber, you know, he just got asked, how are you? And he say, aussi, oui, which is well, what can I say? An extremely unnatural way of... you can tell he's nervous, by the way. You can tell he's nervous, bless him. I suppose I would be too if I had to do this in Dutch or German. And so he's aussi, oui. Technically it's not even a sentence. There's no verb in it. So he just threw out two words, aussi, oui, with a few hand gestures. And okay, so the level remains very low. Okay, we agree?
Comment tu as trouvé la conversation que tu as eue avec le secrétaire d'État?
Okay, so I understood this. Comment est-ce que tu as trouvé la conversation que tu as eue avec le secrétaire d'État? I found that he's speaking very cautiously. This is the Diplomat speaking here, very cautiously. He made a sentence that contained no mistakes. Strong English accent, strong American accent. There was an edit, by the way. The YouTuber said, oh, oui, aussi. There was an edit. So we don't know what happened between. How many takes were there? We'll never know. I don't want to rewind it, but I found it a bit robotic. You know, the cadence was, comment est-ce que tu as trouvé la conversation que tu as eue avec le secrétaire d'État? I said in the beginning of the video that the Diplomat, as competent as he is, isn't a judge of French. How could he be? It's not his field of competence. It's not what he does. He's not a French teacher. Right, well, he was just asked a question, comment, which is an open question. How did you find the conversation you had with the Secretary of State? The YouTuber in question hasn't yet built a sentence because he's saying, oui, bien. He's just, yes, good, bien, right. Does this count as a conversation? You be the judge.
Bien.
So he's saying bien, pronouncing the N. It's a typical mistake a beginner would do. You see a letter in French and you figure, well, if there's an N there, there's probably a purpose and I'm supposed to pronounce it. Bien. I said he was A2 level. I almost want to say A1.5, not quite A2, because that's really the basics. It's the sort of thing I cover in my first class.
Je parle seulement pas de français.
So he's saying, je parle seulement pas de français. So the intonation, obviously, I'm not mocking it, I'm just saying, well, he doesn't know how the intonation works. The sound he pronounced pas de français. Je parle seulement peu de français. In many French words, you have what I call the disappearing E. It's not a term I invented, it's just what it is. Like when you say au revoir, the E disappears. You don't typically say au revoir with 3 syllables. And seulement, that word, falls into this category. We say seulement, we don't say seulement. Why? Because you just have to know which words have an E that's always silent, and seulement is one of those words. Yeah, there was an edit here, I don't like that. He barely started his sentence, there was 2 camera changes. One sentence, there's already been 3 camera angle changes, so they cut twice already, so I don't like this. I'm not getting a proper impression of his French. Then he said, j'aime étudier la langue. J'aime étudier la langue. Cut. Okay, he said one sentence, j'aime étudier la langue, which didn't answer the question. I like to study the language. Okay, very good. Then another camera angle, 3rd angle, and what's he saying now? Yeah, I can't get any of this. I don't know what he was saying exactly. He was sort of mumbling about French or something. The 4th camera angle, now he's speaking about food or something after mumbling about learning French. I don't know what he was saying. I really don't know. I can't be bothered. He didn't finish his sentence. He said, pour voir. I like to study French, to see, pour voir, and then cut. 4th camera angle. I love French food.
La nourriture francophone. Oh, okay. Est-ce que... Oh, okay. Est...
Voilà, j'aime la nourriture francophone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, bless him. He just said, I like French-speaking food. J'aime la nourriture francophone. So, j'aime la nourriture francophone. And, well, he didn't really say anything. He didn't finish that thought.
La nourriture francophone.
Oh, okay. Est-ce que...
And then, cut again. He didn't finish that sentence either. It was meant to be finished. He didn't finish that sentence. So now they're back to the diplomat who's going to ask his second question.
Est-ce que tu as visité l'Afrique déjà ou...
Now the diplomat just made a mistake. He placed the adverb déjà at the end of the sentence. It's not the natural place of the adverb déjà. I hope it's an adverb. I don't know. Is déjà I hope it is. What else could it be? I think it's an adverb, déjà. I think there's two mistakes here. If they are in Africa, I think the diplomat means to say, had you visited Africa before being here today? Had you ever visited Africa before? So to me, the question's not clear. I'm guessing they are in Africa, and the diplomat's asking him, had you ever been to Africa before? Because we are in Africa now. So he's got the tense wrong, and he's not placing the adverb in the right place. So even the diplomat, in his short sentence, he got two things wrong. And what's the YouTuber going to answer to that?
Pas encore.
Pas encore.
Tu as visité l'Afrique déjà ou pas encore?
Oui.
Oh, I think it's about a future idea. Have you visited Africa yet or not yet? Which would imply that they spoke about Africa previously and that the YouTuber intends to go there?
Oui, oui, j'aime.
Ah, tu es allé
He said we. He didn't even build a sentence. We cut. Swear, cut. Watch the video. Cut. Then the diplomat speaking now. The YouTuber did not make a sentence. He just said a word. Cut. I can do that in any language. Just tell me how to say yes.
Ah, tu es allé au Kenya, toi.
Tu es allé au Kenya. He's forgotten the liaison. Tu es allé, which is a lot better.
Allé au Kenya, toi.
Oui, 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 j'aime.
Ah, tu es allé au Kenya, toi.
Oui, 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 j'ai visité Afrique.
Come on, he's just recycling the question of the diplomat. So the diplomat asks him, have you visited Africa? I don't know why they're talking about Africa. Have you visited Africa? And he said, oui, j'ai. And then the diplomat says, you went to Kenya, I think. And then he just repeats, oui, j'ai visité l'Afrique. Yes, I visited Africa. I mean, come on, this is not a conversation. And there's nothing to say. It's not a conversation. I mean, he's not even A1. I started with, I supposed he was A2. Now he's not even A1. He's A half A. He's not even A1. I'm not mocking him. I mean, I'm sure all his other languages are great. I'm using this to illustrate what polyglottism is. And the other one's saying, the diplomat's saying formidable, 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 formidable.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Well, that was the end of it. I don't know what to say, really. I have the feeling now that I've listened to it, because I hadn't prepared this, I have the feeling that this doesn't prove anything either way. It just proves that a certain polyglot said, I'm going to speak French with a diplomat, did not speak French with a diplomat, and essentially nothing happened. I feel it was all very anticlimactic, isn't it? There was nothing to work with. Despite this, I feel that what is true is that a lot of these polyglots know how to place themselves. They know how to build themselves up. Because what's very interesting is that whether he spoke successfully with a diplomat or not changes nothing to his brand. His brand is just as good. What matters is that he was seen with a diplomat having a non-existent conversation, and it doesn't matter, the brand is just as good. That's polyglottism for you. I don't know what else to say. My name is Chris. See you in the next video.